And if we take a look at some massive theaters, it's not looking too good. Here's one in the Metro DC area, Tyson's Corner, completely empty on a primetime Saturday. One of Utah's largest theaters at 5 p.m. and 7:40 p.m., both completely empty. The massive TCL Chinese Theater looking pretty rough right now. Not a lot of seats taken at all. And even the busiest theater in Montreal is not getting a lot of attention here either, with 1 seat taken. Theaters in Toronto, not many seats taken. And once again, just no seats taken. Another theater in Toronto. And finally, a theater in Ottawa, barely any seats taken.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
I am the Snow White now.
Disney's Snow White remake has become the company's worst nightmare. The film has reached a humiliating new low, sealing its place as the worst-rated Disney release of the decade.
What did you think was going to happen when you chose specifically this actress for the job?
I don't need your business.
Weird.
If Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood.
We hate the diversity, equity, and inclusion casting and writing in movies.
Nothing has brought me greater joy than watching the Walt Disney Company absolutely panic over the last few weeks.
And once again, the public has said, we hate your woke bull crap.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
I did not like Snow White. The reason why is that the actress that plays Snow White, she acts like a bitch all the time.
I don't need your business.
I don't think they're going to buy it. I don't think they're going to watch it. I don't think they're going to like it.
I just feel like she has this intense hatred for the material that she's working with. She calls it weird.
About Disney, in which they deconstructed the fact that every Disney movie has now flipped over into just being a woke festival of stupid.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, echo, echo.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it?
This is truly like, she has to go. I'm sorry, Disney. She has to go.
I don't need your business.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Well, I'm sorry they didn't line up to see your love quite clearly based on the box office numbers.
We know that they are in full-on frantic mode as we speak because Bob Iger, the board of directors, the many executives over there, they are seeing the negative press.
She thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress. She should get paid for streaming for every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Not only are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character. So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
I don't need your business.
Well, folks, as we all know, Disney has gone completely woke.
Doesn't need a prince to save her, and not surrounded by 7 weird people. Oh, okay, just CGI fictional goblins, I guess.
So hopefully this flops so hard that they finally learn their lesson.
The reason we had Rachel Zegler on the docket is she's an asshole. I don't need your business.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
You can have female characters that are empowered, that do great things, that are heroines. I mean, that's fantastic. I don't think anybody has an issue with it, but you don't have to disparage men in the process. You don't have to call Prince Charming a stalker. You don't have to say that you could just eliminate him from the whole movie.
Cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, baby. It's Hollywood, baby. Hollywood, baby. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Well, Andrew, woke is a poison apple and Disney have had a big bite of it. This movie should be called, they should call this movie Snow Woke and the 7 Pronouns. It's so bad. If you were to watch this movie on an aeroplane, Andrew, you'd walk out.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Today's topic is a disaster so big, it could be put in a museum. Disney's live-action Snow White remake has completely failed, like a bad fireworks show in the rain on the 4th of July. At the heart of the mess is actress Rachel Zegler, who has somehow managed to turn off her fans faster than anyone could have imagined.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
The mainstream media is being careful not to say too much, but let's be honest. This modern version of Snow White has upset loyal fans, angered fellow cast members, and completely destroyed whatever dignity Disney had left, all in one go.
Now, one thing that is already universally known at this point by the general public is the fact that Disney is in full-on damage control mode.
I came back, the losses were around $4 billion.
If you thought last year's movie flops were bad, get ready. This one takes a crown for the biggest mess ever. But before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means everything. Now, back to the drama. Let's get straight to the numbers, because they are just as bad as it gets. Disney spent a jaw-dropping $250 million on the Snow White remake, probably thinking that some fancy CGI and a few trendy lines will be enough to fill theaters. Clearly, that plan didn't work out.
Okie dokie. I am walking into Snow White, 2 p.m., now seating. Let's see how empty it is. I hope, it's off the walk we go. I hope. Sound like I hear a couple of people. One, two. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, not quite the hit Disney hoped for. The movie only managed to make $195 million worldwide, far less than the $250 million it cost, creating a huge financial loss that hurts worse than stepping on a Lego in the dark. In what feels like karma, over 1,200 theaters around the world have already stopped showing the film, probably to avoid the embarrassment of making just $53 a day in ticket sales. One TikTok video went viral, showing a completely empty theater, like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie, except for the one person filming. Another video from a Shanghai IMAX showed just 5 people in the audience, barely enough to play a card game, let alone call it a movie success.
As a good reporter, I went to check it out myself yesterday here in Shanghai. Now, including myself and my friend, the entire IMAX cinema had just 5 audience members. And that is despite Disney going all out in their promotion of the film here in China. There was even a poster in the elevator at my apartment complex.
All this mess makes one thing clear. Even Disney's powerful name couldn't save this flop. Critics are calling it the worst-rated Disney movie of the decade. And honestly, I can see why. It's like the studio took all the magic of the beloved 1937 original, mixed it with awkward political messages, and served it up as a bland, lukewarm kale smoothie. Not exactly something people were excited to see.
Well, they could just write a new story. I mean, that's you don't have to take a classic fairy tale that's been loved for generations and destroy it. You can just write a new story about an empowered girl who wants to be a great leader and not call it Snow White.
But hey, if public embarrassment were an Olympic event, Disney would be winning gold right now. And if you thought the box office numbers were bad, wait until you hear about the film's lead, Rachel Zegler. Her career seems to be crashing faster than a bungee jumper with a loose cord. Rumors say she's looking for therapy, emotional support, or maybe even a way to disappear completely. It doesn't stop there. Word is, even her co-stars are keeping their distance, faster than you can say straight-to-DVD sequel. Fans who once loved her earlier work are now criticizing her non-stop, blaming her for turning one of Disney's most cherished stories into what feels like a personal vanity project.
Rachel Zegler and her behavior. And if it was just one comment, it probably would have been forgotten by now. But it was comment after comment, and it was pissing off everybody, pissing off old Disney fans, pissing off new Disney fans, pissing off Trump supporters, pissing off all of America. And it became such a disaster that they had to shut her up, which was the smartest move they made.
A disaster this big can seriously damage careers. And in Hollywood, failure on this level doesn't go unnoticed. No one seems more desperate to distance themselves from the mess than Rachel Zegler. If she wants a second chance, she might need a time machine and a whole lot of apologies. On top of blowing a $250 million budget, she also managed to upset a large group of loyal Disney fans. which is no small feat, considering they usually adore anything with a castle logo. In interviews, Rachel criticized the original Snow White, calling the prince a stalker and dismissing fairy tale romance as outdated nonsense, which only made things worse.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Sure, some people online praise her feminist views, but a much bigger group of fans felt she completely missed the point of the original story. If you're going to remake a centuries-old fairy tale, maybe don't disrespect the beloved source material that generations have cherished. To make matters worse, her co-star, Gal Gadot, who played the evil queen, seems to want nothing to do with her. The rumor is that Gadot made it very clear she wasn't going to publicly defend Rachel or her controversial opinions.
So one major aspect about why there's a lot of growing issues between Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler is that we know that they have a lot of personal problems with each other. We know that there's a lot of politics driven in between there, as well as other personal issues that really rised when it came to creative differences behind the scenes, and also in the public eye they had a lot of problems.
Imagine waking up to headlines blaming you for the movie's failure, all because your lead actress decided to publicly criticize the very fairy tale she was supposed to honor. Gal Gadot reportedly thinks Rachel Zegler's unfiltered comments only made the PR disaster worse, like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. Fans are feeling deeply let down. They wanted a modern Snow White, sure, but they didn't ask for a full-on attack on the original romance or lead actress treating the classic like some outdated relic. From die-hard Disney fans to casual moviegoers, people are rolling their eyes at the attitude on display. When you're trying to celebrate a character beloved for decades, calling the male lead a creep probably isn't the best marketing move. Of course, you can't blame Zegler alone. Disney's corporate execs also made a huge misstep by diving headfirst into modernization without thinking it through. They seem to believe adding polarizing political and social ideas to every childhood classic is a key to staying relevant. But if Snow White is any indication, this approach might be more like spoiled mayonnaise and secret sauce. Critics are lining up to point out that Disney's once-perfect reputation has taken a huge hit. It turns out, insulting your core fan base isn't the best way to keep things rolling smoothly. And if you were hoping for a live-action Tangled, rumors say that dream is officially dead. Multiple sources report that Disney is now panicking about future remakes, scared of repeating this disaster.
Disney has canceled one of its upcoming live-action remakes after Snow White flopped. And I bet some fans are going to be pretty disappointed by this news. Disney has pumped the brakes on its live-action remake of Tangled. And that's a pretty big deal because Tangled was in active development. Greatest Showman filmmaker Michael Gracie was going to direct with a script from Jennifer Caton Robinson. But now the project is on pause, and it's unclear if that pause is temporary or permanent.
And then there's Bob Iger, Disney's big boss, who made the puzzling admission that he doesn't even know what too woke means anymore.
Critics saying Disney's too woke, but you're just putting out storytelling.
We are. Look, I don't really like the term woke because I think it's an umbrella term that I'm not 100% sure I even know what it means.
That's right. Bob Iger, the leader of the world's biggest entertainment company, basically shrugged off accusations that Disney is out of touch. Maybe someone should get him a dictionary, or better yet, a clue about why so many fans are upset. If Snow White is Disney's idea of innovation, Mickey might want to start drafting his resignation letter. And behind the scenes, it's a circus. According to secretive Hollywood sources, the production was a mess from the very beginning. Rachel Zegler, fresh off a couple of smaller successes, reportedly demanded enough creative control to make even the most seasoned producers nervous. She wanted to completely rework the story, making Snow White a fiercely independent heroine with no interest in a prince. This might have been okay if the script didn't feel like it was written by someone who'd never actually read the original fairy tale.
You see how young these women are. You know, like this woman, Rachel Zegler, she looks about 12 years old in that clip, who plays the new Snow White. And it really does seem to me that this is like a 19-year-old's version of feminism, right? You've got to reject men. They have to be painted as toxically masculine. You have to spit on true love. Like that is not a value that is universal, that everyone aspires to, well before they aspire to leadership. right? That it's somehow they're mutually exclusive, by the way. You've got to get rid of the love storyline and focus more on how she wants to be CEO of IBM. I mean, like, what's Snow White's plan? She's Snow White. She's like a princess. Okay, whatever.
Disney higher-ups initially gave Rachel Zegler a lot of freedom, probably hoping her feminist take would stir up interest. But as production dragged on, tension skyrocketed. Some crew members quietly complained that the film was turning into a preachy lecture on modern social issues rather than a fun, imaginative retelling of a beloved fairy tale. And the media? Well, they've been suspiciously quiet, focusing on fluff pieces or avoiding the real issues. Could Disney be using its power to control the narrative? Or are they just too embarrassed to admit they've turned a classic into a multi-million-dollar joke? From the audience's point of view, this whole drama feels like watching magician fail miserably at every trick. Then there's a cherry on top, legal troubles. Rumors are circulating that distributors or co-producers might sue Disney if they feel the film's tone or potential success was misrepresented. If Zegler's off-screen comments have sabotaged their investment, they might have grounds for legal action, whether it's a malice, breach of contract, or a smear campaign. While studios don't usually go nuclear unless they believe a star has actively sabotaged their project, calling the prince a creep might count, as that in some people's eyes, especially when they are losing money because of it. Rachel's future in Hollywood looks uncertain. The industry is notoriously fickle, and not many people in Tinseltown want to be associated with an actress who set her own project on fire. Time might heal wounds, but in showbiz, you're only as good as your last success, or your last big failure. And this one is so big it might need its own zip code. As for Disney, they are staring at a $145 million loss. That might not be a huge deal for a multi-billion-dollar company, but shareholders won't be happy to see their brand turned into a joke. Meanwhile, Rachel is reportedly hiding out in New York, possibly regretting slamming a classic fairy tale. Co-stars and Disney employees are distancing themselves faster than you can say mirror, mirror on the wall. If there's any silver lining, maybe this will teach Disney that you can't just throw a big budget at a classic story, sprinkle in some trendy buzzwords, and expect the audience to respond with applause. Nostalgia can't save a project that's disrespectful to the very story it's trying to modernize. If Bob Iger and Disney's executives think they can sweep this mess under the rug, they might need a bigger rug. There are whispers about behind-the-scenes chaos, suppressed interviews, and last-minute script changes for future projects. Conspiracy buffs are having a field day, and there's a chance more bombshells will drop soon. So, is this flop a sign that Disney's woke approach has run its course, or is it just another case of Hollywood taking itself too seriously? Let us know what you think in the comments, or just enjoy the endless TikToks of empty theaters. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for more unfiltered takes. Snow White may be the original Disney princess, but this reboot is more of a cautionary tale on how to blow $250 million. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed, only on Tea Time with Tina.